Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm going to chat for a second before we get started. So everybody pop into chat. Make sure you change it to all panelists and attendees and say aloha. Tell me where you are. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me how your life is. People are streaming in and no one's answering. There we go, Kauai. Oh, perfect. You're eating breakfast. What for breakfast? Oh, make sure you change it from all panelists to all panelists and attendees. It's on the little to button. So all panelists to all panelists and attendees. There we go, Honolulu, here we are. Cindy, don't I know you? I think I know you. Let's see. Nice and breezy day. Hello from Texas. Didn't see that coming. Let's see. You Beach. I'm probably saying that wrong. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Remember to do all panelists and attendee. Yeah, Cindy, I knew you. I missed you guys. You folks, all the people. All panelists and attendees so that you can chat with everybody. See any names out there of people you know? Tell them hello. I see some people I know. Can you see us? We can only see you. No, I can't see you, but I'm sure you're looking good. All right, so remember all panelists and attendees. There we go. Jim, let's rock. There you go. Jim is ready. Yvonne's in the house. Dana, oh my gosh. Dana Assis, I used to work with her. She was my boss at the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I know. And she wrote me the other day and sent me a screenshot of the ad. Isn't that funny? So everybody say hi to Dana because she's kind of famous and she was my boss. I can no longer work for people, so here we are. All right, who we got? Baby Zoomers. Iwa Beach, am I saying that right? Iwa, let's see. There's a William. Remember all panelists and attendees so that everybody can say hi. Like Eva Beach? Eva, yeah.
Eva, like a V, Eva.
Eva. Let's see, we have someone who could use, so Marissa, when it says all panelists, there's a to button with a big blue bar. And then you click on that and it says all panelists and attendees and then all panelists. So make sure you do all panelists and attendees so that we can all say. Oh, Marissa, I'm sorry you're having challenges. Maybe one of our folks, Wendy or Crystal, can talk to you privately and maybe walk you through it because dang technology, it's crazy. Will we go over how to go into breakout rooms? Probably not in this session because I know it's someone says love my nerd shirt. It's a rhinestone nerd pin. We're probably not going to go through that in this session, although I can answer some questions because we're doing a webinar versus a breakout room setup with the meetings. We don't have that facility here, but I can talk you through some things. So make sure you ask that question if you still have it after we get going. Will we learn how to split the screen and let others see it? Yes, we will be able to do that. And we're going to tell you how to look great on Zoom, definitely. So I am going to stop talking because Crystal is better looking than me, and she's going to maybe get us started. It's up to you, Crystal, whenever you want.
Well, let's get started then. Seems like everybody's anxious, and let's see, we have about 100 people in this room already, and I'm sure we're going to have stragglers come in, but let's get started nevertheless. We want to welcome you to our Hawaii Realtor series featuring guest speaker Beth Z, your nerdy best friend. Before we begin, I just want to let you guys know that we'll be recording this session, and what we'll do is we'll send a link back to you probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning in case you want to relook at the video. You can do that. We'll also have it hosted on our website, hawaiirealtors.com. If you have any technical issues, please type them in the chat box, and our staff, Wendy Brown, will be assisting you. And lastly, we'll be taking some questions from the Q&A box. So if you want to go ahead and type that in as we go along, Beth will be taking a look at the Q&A box and trying to address some of your questions as time permits. So, have you ever wondered if there is an app for that? Our next speaker has the answer. Meet your nerdy best friend, Beth Z, author, speaker, nerd. Since her first Motorola Razr flip phone, Beth has made a verb out of the word nerd. And although the only real trophy she ever won was for making perfect French fries at McDonald's in high school, Beth Z has been featured on Best Speaker lists by several organizations who write Best Speaker lists. She has written a whole shelf of books on apps and has spoken to more than 100,000 audience members just like you. And if you're puzzling over why she goes by Beth Z, it's because she only finds about 3 people a year who can pronounce her last name, and I'm not one of them. Please join me in welcoming the chick who spent recess in middle school grading papers for her teachers, your nerdy best friend, Beth Z.
And the crowd goes wild. Perhaps, no one knows. Hi, folks. It is Beth Z, your nerdy best friend, and I'm so glad to be back here, though very much I would rather be spending the morning with y'all than here in Tennessee because you're in Hawaii, and I miss you. I was able to speak to you, what was that, 4 years ago or something like that? And a lot has changed since then, and this session is completely new to what we're doing because the world went crazy in March and all of us are dealing with these things. Now, before I get deeply into what we're going to talk about, I want you to open your mind to learning something. Even if you think you know everything there is to know about Zoom, go ahead and stick with me because you may pick up some pointers. Some people have been doing it a lot and you're not doing anything that I'm not, you're doing all the things right. But some of you, a lot of you are probably needing some improvements, which is why you came to this session. So even if you know all the kind of things about Zoom, I'm going to be able to tell you at least one thing you haven't heard of. So you with me? Everybody say you're with me in the chat. The chat's right down there. Let me see it. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. All kinds of people chiming in. All right, let me share my screen and get going. All right, and let me pull your little faces back over here. Here we go. Love the 2 screens. This session is all about putting a little zip in your Zoom. And let me first ask you a question. Everybody go to, it can be on your phone or it can be on the computer. Go to menti.com, menti.com. Everybody go right now and use the code 2771313. So I'm going to put it in the chat, menti.com, and the code is 27 71 13. All right. Here we go. What kind of Zoomer are you? The one walking around the house? The one who forgets to unmute? We have a couple of those. The one without the camera on. The one with the beach background. Aloha, Crystal. The one with the barking dog, and all of the above. All right, let's see what kind of Zoomers you guys are. Oh, unmuting is happening. Good thing we're on a webinar, because on a webinar versus a meeting, everybody is muted by default on a webinar, whereas a meeting is where you've got all the little faces together. But we've got such a big group, we do webinars. All right, the one without the camera on. More voting, more voting. Let's see it. Oh, the one without the camera on is a big one. Now, I would bet that some of you, being the one without the camera on, is because maybe you're not as confident in your camera setup and your home setup. And that's part of what we're going to cover today. So I'm glad to see that a lot of y'all are, let's go with chicken, about turning on your camera. I know, it's good. Okay, let's see. Do not want to shave or get dressed. I hear you. For a long time, I hadn't zipped up a zipper in 3 months, but wearing shorts or jeans today, so I did. All right, here we go. We are going to move on to get started with the presentation. All right. Hide results. Stop being ornery. All right, we'll do it this way. First thing I want to talk about is, how do you sound? And I'm going to do a little experiment for you. Now, I have some really nice equipment here that I've purchased, and my Mac does a really good job, but you're going to be able to tell a difference. So I'm going to show you some different sounds with my computer. All right, right now I am speaking through what's called a blue, wait, let's see, I pushed the button too far. Blue Snowball. So this is an external device that I purchased to be a part of my system. Let me show you when I do the built-in microphone. So now I'm using a built-in microphone. Can you tell the difference? Yes or no in the chat. Can you tell a difference when I'm speaking from a computer microphone, which most of us do, versus the external? Excellent. So here is another one. This is a third-party camera that I use. And this one is above my computer. So the closer I am, the closer my microphone is to my mouth, the better the sound is going to be no matter what. So this one is a little bit better than the internal one. I tell you, I bought a PC, and the PC, let me go back. The PC, the camera, and the microphone are way worse than my Mac. I was so surprised, because it was not a cheap computer. I was so surprised how bad the sound and the video were. So these are fantastic tools to have the external device. Now, let me tell you, there are a number of devices you can use. This one is kind of as an expensive one I used to use. It is one that has to be put on the ear, and it will allow you to be right next to it. So this is my Madonna mic, right? Like right there. And that's what I use on speaking. I'm not changing to it because I don't have it all hooked up. But again, the closer you can get, oh my gosh, somebody is pounding on my door. The closer you can get to the microphone to your mouth, the better off you're going to be. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go out and buy expensive pieces. What this means, oh my gosh, there's somebody just pounding on my door. Crystal, I'm sorry. Say something really good. I've got to go get this guy to stop pounding on my door. I'll be right back.
This is what happens when you do webinars from somebody's house. Believe me, if I was at my house, everybody, you'd be hearing the chickens crowing and the cats meowing and all of that, because I have a lot of background noise. But I'm glad everybody's here. So I hope you guys are all doing great. Oh, thank you, Dale. She likes my background. Aloha. But I'm glad you guys are here. You know, I've been doing Zoom for a while and I still don't know everything about it. It's very complicated, I think, sometimes. All right, here she comes. Shh, we're not talking about her.
Hey, did you see what I did? Don't do that. So the hilarious thing is it was a person delivering liquor, and I had to sign, and he kept just pounding on the door, and I'm like, what is going on? So don't do that. Did we have a couple of questions coming in? Let's see.
We had
People are
someone,
laughing because I had to go get the door. That's good. Can you
Beth.
also attach these devices to a phone that uses Zoom?
Yes.
Here is the thing. If you just use your headset that was given to you when you got your phone that has the microphone in it, you're going to be way better off. So you can use that on your phone and you can use it with your computer. So you can plug it directly in your computer. It's fantastic. It's a really good headset most of the time. And again, the closer you get your mouth to that microphone, the better off you're going to be. Oh, I'm so embarrassed by that man. Okay. Let's talk about the external mics. Again, this was the Blue Snowball. So the Blue Snowball is about, what is it, about 60 bucks, 70 bucks. It's not incredibly cheap, but I tell you, they are very handy to have, and it really makes a difference. The Blue Snowball did sell out for a while, but it's something that you can still find. Any kind of external mic despite from your computer is going to be a better mic. Any kind of external mic. I promise you that. Another thing that you need to watch for, and I have about a B+ in this house right now, is your external noise, white noise. Is your fan running? Is it running behind you? Do you have all of these things? Is there someone pounding at your door? Is there a cat screaming upstairs and a husband yelling at the cat? That just happened to me. All of these things you should block out. So it says Blue Snowball, cat and child proof? Probably not. I have 4 cats and they don't like me very much, so they're not on my desk very much. I have dropped this. I have moved it. It seems to not break so far. But again, you don't have to have the most expensive things. You just have to have something that is external and can get closer to your mouth. Is the Blue Snowball wireless? Nope, it's attached. There are some things that are wireless. I don't like to do a lot of wireless things because things go wrong, right? The more you can plug in the Wi-Fi, if you can plug in your computer to Ethernet versus Wi-Fi, the more things you can plug in directly, the less you're going to have to mess with stuff. So I try not to do wireless because wired will give you more consistency and things won't, batteries won't go dead and that kind of thing. All right. Next one is, how do you look? Okay. Again, the camera inside your computer is a lot worse than almost any external camera. So I have, this is a Logitech HD Pro. They are sold out everywhere, pretty much in March. As soon as things started to take off, they started selling off. I mean, it's really hard to find one. There are some that'll come within a couple of weeks. I recommend you get either a Logitech HD Pro or some kind of upgraded camera. But any external device is better. Now I'm going to point my camera to another camera. You can actually hook up a professional camera you have to your computer. It varies by device, it varies by platform, it varies by the kind of camera you have. But I have hooked up a pretty expensive camera that I got to do video to my computer to have an extra camera and to have higher resolution. Let's see, I am coming over here and I want to show you the difference in the cameras. All right, so right now I'm doing my HD Pro Logitech and I'm going to do FaceTime. This is through the Mac. Now, can you tell the difference? I'm going to peek over there through and see in the chat. Can you tell the difference between this camera and the other? Probably so. I have changed color. It's not a good color on me. The clarity is gone. And again, this is my Mac. The PC was way worse. I couldn't believe how bad it was. Like it was almost brown and pixelated, like crazy. It makes a huge difference in which camera you do. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of tricks as well in a few minutes. I don't want to do it now because it has a lot of moving parts and some of the parts don't work very well. So I'll show you in just a second. All right, here are some video settings. Now, one of the things I want to check, because we always need to check this, is my screen sharing settings. Let's see. Here we go. And share, and I'll go through that in just a minute. All right, watch this little video. Here is a tiny little lesson on what to do with your video settings. So right now I'm on my computer's FaceTime built-in camera. Now watch what happens. I'm going to switch to the other screen because my other camera's over here. Watch what happens when I switch to the quality. See, look at the color. It's kind of orange and a little dark. So now I am switching to the better quality camera and it is a lot lighter and the color balance is better. So when I look here, there's a couple of other things I can do. You see how wide my window is right here? Or how narrow. When you enable HD and play with that, you can see that it changes the scope. Now I've got messes right over there, and that's another thing you can check behind you, because you can hide the messes by enabling or disabling the HD. You can mirror the video, which you probably don't want to do because the default is where people can read things behind you. And look at this, you can touch up my appearance. So let's see, how do I look without it? Ready? Older, younger, older, younger. It's a little subtle, but anything to get my little bit of boost. All right, and here are some other options. Always display participant name on their videos. This is very handy because when you're doing a class and you see all the people on there, or if you don't have the if you're doing the webinar and not the class, it's different, but I think y'all are going to be doing the class. It's easier because when you have people on there and they're just sitting there, that you're not going to see their names, or when they're talking, you're not going to see their names unless you do that. Turn off the video when joining a meeting. Very important that you turn off the video when joining a meeting, because the default used to be that Zoom would allow bad guys to like turn on the video and maybe do some bad things on your computer. It's not as bad. I think they've switched some of that, but turn off the video when you're starting so that you have control and someone can't start a meeting on your behalf. Turn on the video and watch your house. Always show video preview dialog when joining a video meeting. Yes, so you can see how you're lit, what your face looks like. Hide non-video participants. Y'all have to have participants who are in video, but this is very helpful sometimes when you've got all just those black boxes. Spotlight my video when speaking. Of course you're going to do that. And then display up to 49 participants per screen. That's a lot of participants per screen in the gallery view, but these are the settings in here that you can play around with. Okay, while y'all were watching the movie, if you look, I answered some of the questions that had come in via chat, and hope I can get those questions answered for us. This is obviously a very casual session because of the man who came to my door and the screaming cat. So just let's keep it casual. All right. Let's talk about backgrounds. I'm going to talk a minute about Crystal in just a second, but not quite yet. Let's talk about virtual backgrounds. I am going to, let's do this first. Right now, I want everybody to take a picture with your phone and then go to nerdybff.com/youroffice and share that picture with us. All right. So nerdybff.com/youroffice is a Dropbox upload. And you can just upload the picture. I want you to take a picture of what your office looks like right now, whether you have a cat in the office, what your desk looks like, what your background look like, because I can't see y'all. So let's go ahead and put these in here. And then when you upload them, we'll see them coming in. Let's see. Let me come into Dropbox. All right. And where is my shared folder that's coming in? Okay, so we're gonna see it in just a second. People are gonna start uploading them, but snap a picture and put it in here. Oh, Edward, let's see what we got. Oh, now Edward took a picture of me. So snap a picture of your office. That's awesome. Snap a picture of your office and share it with us. Oh, Edward, that made me laugh. All right. Here is Sandy. Okay, so Sandy, interesting things. We got a mask hanging there. I love that big smile of yours. And we'll get to this in just a second. Let's see who else we got here. Coming in. Now, in case, Sandy, I called you Sandy. Are you Sandra? Yeah, Sandra, sorry. In case you're curious about what I'm doing, Dropbox lets you create folders where you can share, have people share files. You might have used some of those to get information from buyers or sellers, but it makes it very easy. You can just create ones. All right, there is Patricia with a great face shot. She's not smiling, but inside she is, I'm sure. All right, here we have a couple more. There we go. Hi, Denise. How are you? Lots of different backgrounds. Y'all are doing all kinds of things back there. And in a few minutes, keep them coming up and maybe we can see some cute pets in a few minutes. I'll come back to it. But in a few minutes, I'm going to ask for a volunteer for a little experiment. All right. Let's see. And here we go. All right. Let's talk for a second before I get to some samples, now that I've seen some of y'all's backgrounds, about green screens. So let me unshare here. Let me unshare here. And you can see my background. So, see, shorts. I have a green screen that is awesome. It's this roll up, it goes all the way to the top, and obviously I have to bring it forward, but it's a roll up green screen that gives me a solid background. Now, this one was a little bit expensive. I think it was like it was over $100. And so that's a lot. They have some that are about $60 that actually wrap around your chair. I'm looking in the chat. Does anybody have one of those that wraps around a chair and kind of does this? Puts the green screen up here. I think they're kind of funny looking, and so I never use those. And I've actually stopped using a green screen altogether. But if you are going to do a background and you want to use the green screen, if you have any kind of anything behind you, you're going to need to have a real green screen. Otherwise, and I'm going to show you in just a minute, you disappear into it. The novelty of the green screens is over. Or not the green screens, the novelty of the backgrounds is over. A lot of people know how to do them. And when you do them, you're going to have to make sure that everything looks good when you have them, that it's very professional and that it represents who you want to be and that you're not weirding out and going back and forth. Let's see, what else did I want to say about this before I get to some samples? All right, so now I get to pick on some people. Wendy, my friend. I got permission to do this when I started, so don't think that I'm just being mean to Wendy, but Wendy came on. How you doing, Wendy?
I'm good, thank you.
So Wendy came on and was our super tech and superwoman and helping out and stuff, but she's sideways and you can pretty much look up her nose, right? So her angle of her camera immediately. Now, Wendy's like, I'm just here to help out. I'm not going to really be a part of this, but you're always on. And you can always, when you can be seen and recorded, you always want to make sure you're doing a few things. So the first thing we want to make sure Wendy does is adjusts her camera so that her face is in it. Now, Wendy, you have a secret tip behind you. What is that?
I took my McDonald's napkins from breakfast and tucked it behind to make it more upright.
So Wendy, make some adjustments there.
Okay, there we go. My MacGyver of my McDonald's napkins.
I love it. I love it. So now we've got Wendy's face more in there. Now, another thing that's happening is that behind Wendy, and this is something you just all have to do for yourselves, behind Wendy, she's got a very bright light. And so that makes her face a lot darker. I'm going to put this down. All she needs to do is get some kind of light from the other side of her computer that kind of comes down, and she's going to be well lit and just balanced out with that lighting. Always, Wendy, and you're going to do this, I'm sure, later on, point your camera down so that you are closer. You don't see the ceiling. You're going to see the back of the office, and you're going to see your face more together. All right. Everybody give Wendy a big hand for being our person. Yay, Wendy. All right. So let's go to Crystal. Crystal, could you come forward? I'm going to bring you forward. All right. So Crystal's lighting is great, and Crystal's background is interesting. It's adorable and it's very bright and interesting. But Crystal, why don't you dance a little bit for me? Do this. Now, Crystal ends up looking like some kind of a weird ghost in this situation because the green screen is not on a solid wall and it's not on a solid green screen itself. So the computer is doing its best to superimpose, and you are going to keep going back and forth. And if your lighting is not good, it gets even worse. So Crystal, could you take off your green screen? Just go back to the normal. All right, so Crystal didn't have a solid background. Even if you don't have a green screen, if you have a solid wall with nothing on it, you can pull off the green screen and have that be more even. And you can even pick the color, right? So mine is a green screen, the official one. But if you have a blue wall or a cream colored wall, you can say, this is the color of my wall, and it'll do a better job. If you're in those settings and you want to say you have a green screen, you can actually pick the actual color of the background. But Crystal, again, is looking, the camera angle is looking up a little bit. So we see a little bit of her ceiling, and we see a little bit, her face is kind of, you can tell it's at an angle. Crystal, if you can take your camera and shift it a little bit so you get a little bit less ceiling, look how good that looks. A very small change will help you be more straightforward. And you've got very nice things. I know, she's adorable. You've got very nice things in the background. The only thing I would say is that beautiful piece on the one, it's probably got an official name, but you've got a beautiful piece on the one picture that's hanging around it. And so it's not as clean because you've got 4 very clean ones, and then you've got one that has a lot of things on it. So maybe if you wanted to rearrange that so it's not center behind you, and you can still have the wonderful thing, but it's it just would give you a cleaner look. All right, everybody clap for Crystal. Perfect. So again, it's the lighting, it's what's in your background, it's how clean you can be back there, and the angle. Nicole just wrote about a problem she has with virtual backgrounds, sometimes your video card is not not strong enough, and it'll actually reverse. So you disappear completely, and it's just your background. It's a really weird thing. And sometimes you've got a Samsung 10 and no green or wall screen. Painting the wall. So if you can get a blank wall with no pictures on it, you can pull off a green screen, because then you just tell the computer that your green screen is actually blue or beige, right? So as long as you have a blank wall, if you have stuff on it, that's when it's going to get messed up. All right, other questions. Green bed sheet might help. Yeah, Nicole, somebody suggested a green bed sheet. And I've seen people do that. And you can also paint the wall green. How do you use the different nature backgrounds? So we can't do it in this because we're on a webinar. Wait a minute. Can y'all go ahead and change even though you're not on video, can you change your own? Somebody tell me. Where are all these settings? So do you have video buttons on y'all's settings? I don't think you do. Okay, the problem is, and I tell you what, if we wanted to go after this one, and I'll go on a quick meeting, I'll do that after this. I will go on a quick meeting and show those of you who want to go over the video thing, because we have to all be able to have video to make it work. All right. So Crystal, I will get out of here and send you an email with my personal one, and everybody can join me on my personal one who wants that extra. Got it? Like right after this. How is that? Everybody give me a thumbs up or what have you on the in the chat, and then we will do that later. So we'll be able to cover that. All right, let me go back to the PowerPoint. I'm trying to answer questions, so make sure you keep them coming. Again, this is all casual, and we're just having fun and learning things. All right, there is our look, and we were able to critique some people. Next point, let me hold on just a second. Let me triple check because fun things happen. All right. Next point is, how do they look? And here is something you can play with. We will play with this on my little one that after this one. But how do they look? And there are a few things you can do, and some of this was in the video. The speaker view. You can make it so that people are big, right? And in the screen. You can make it so that when people are talking, their heads get really big and they're the ones there. So I think y'all can do that because we have several people up in the corner on your screen. Do you have something that says speaker view and then another little box that has all the little 9 dots on it? Do you have that? You should be able to. Someone said no. No. Okay. Come to the meeting one and we'll go over that. But in the top corner, when you're in a regular meeting versus a webinar, this is the top dollar stuff because Hawaii Realtors does everything top dollar with the webinar. but we'll go over some of the visual things. But in the top corner, some of you have seen the speaker view and the gallery view. The speaker view is where the head will get really big, and the gallery view will be the tiny dots. Another thing you can do is hide self view. So my husband's family gets together on Zoom about once a week, and his mother hates seeing herself on camera. Anybody else out there just hates seeing yourself talking, but you can't stop looking? Right? Hates seeing yourself on camera. So we make sure that we turn off the self view for her so she's not seeing her own face, because it's very distracting for her, and she keeps going, oh, my hair, and this helps. Hide non-video participants. This is another thing that helps. You can make it so you don't have to see the black boxes. They're usually at the end, but you can have it at the beginning. So somebody was saying they have to leave in a few minutes. I will record the second one so that y'all can see me going through some of the other stuff. Is that good? Thumbs up? Thumbs up? Somebody? All right. You can view the names, and the size of the gallery you can change. We'll go over those in the other. How does your content look? How does your content look? This is really critical. You see, I have this little thing in here where it says, send help, please. You have too many tabs open. Make sure when you're sharing your video or you're sharing your screen that, number one, you have cleaned up your screen. You wouldn't be the first person to have porn playing on another tab while you're showing your screen. I am not kidding you. It happens more than you think. Or somebody is looking for another job, and your assistant is looking for another job, and she shares your screen, and then you do that. All right, so how do you share your screen? Come to the next one, and I'll do a little bonus piece. We'll do that in there. I figure we'll have 20 or 30 people in the next one, and we'll be able to do it. So I keep sharing my screen, and then I say, let me check something. Here is why. Because I always forget to share the audio. Click share the audio so that people can hear what's on your computer. And then if you're doing links to content and things, you can put them in the chat so that people can get through and see it there. All right, we are almost done. What's the time look like here? Yep, about perfect. We were going to stop at about 45. Let me tell you a couple of things I've used behind the scenes here. The first thing is I wanted to get participation. So instead of using the Zoom polling, I used Mentimeter, which is free for the basic version and allows you to get that feedback. I know some of you are participating in meetings and you're on committees. As I said the last time I spoke for y'all, realtors are some of the most giving people I've ever met, and y'all are on committees, you're got nonprofits, you've done all these different things. Dana Assis, who is on the call, she and I met at the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And Dana, how many hundreds of realtors were on our volunteer teams, right? So you're always doing these things. You can engage people using Mentimeter or polling. Get people to interact. So we're going to do that more in the meeting. Again, we were kind of big for that for this, and so I'm going to do that little one. But have people interact, and I'm going to show you breakout sessions in the next one. Have people discuss things. You can pin different videos of people to have two people on a screen discussing things rather than just the big head or everybody having a different gallery thing. You noticed I pinned Crystal and I pinned Wendy so that they would take over the screen. Now there's an advanced thing that I kind of want to show you, but it's kind of scary. There are some third-party tools out there for video control that are just kind of crazy. Let me show you. Let me stop my video or stop sharing the screen for a minute. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to cancel. There we go. All right. So I'm going to show you this tool called Manycam, M-A-N-Y-C-A-M. All right, it's coming through. Is it coming through? It's stuck. Oh, I know why. So what Manycam does is it lets you, wow, it is stuck. This is why I don't use it as much, because it is stuck. What Manicam lets you do is choose different views. Like I can choose this view, and now it's coming at me from my other camera. And all I'm doing is switching the cameras with Minicam. I can do it where this is supposed to be me live, but the camera locked up. I can do a big picture of the PowerPoint with me a little bit bigger than you do when you get me when I'm just speaking through Zoom and sharing my screen. And then I don't have to share my screen back and forth. So I could be doing this and clicking around, and it's going to change the presentation without changing the screen. All right, good thing my office is neat and tidy. Yes, it is very important. All right, so Manicam, the reason I didn't use it is because it messes up sometimes, like it is doing right now. But it is fascinating the way it works. And let's see, let me switch here. You can do all kinds of things with it, but it does require, oh look, there's a cat. Ta-da! It does require some fingers crossed and some technology to work right. Okay, I am going to throw it back now to Crystal, and I'm going to be quiet for a minute, and we're going to do some questions. You know what? I'm going to set up that meeting, Crystal, while we're here, and that way people will be able to join me right after. How's that?
Okay, that sounds good. We're downloading the list of all the participants in this webinar right now. So as soon as we sign off, give us about 10 minutes. I'll send the email out to everyone. And what should we say? What time would be best, Beth?
Well, I'm going to do it right now, if that's okay.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm just going to give y'all the invitation right here.
Okay. Oh, you're going to paste it on your, okay, there you go.
So y'all copy and paste the join Zoom meeting. I'll do it again. Copy and paste the join Zoom meeting thing. Don't join right now because I'm not there. I'm here. But I'm just going to jump on. Is that okay, Crystal? Or you want me to wait 10 minutes?
That makes it much easier. So just go ahead and do that.
All right. And then before I stop talking, because apparently I'm still talking, I want to do this. Crystal and some of y'all who follow me may know that when COVID hit, I had a ton of books in my garage that I was going to take with me on the road. They're brand new. It just came out, and I'm selling them for a stupid price. It's $5.69. Now that is slow boat, and it does take 2 solid weeks to get to Hawaii. We know this. But if you want to buy a book and get it, and let's see, you lost the join Zoom. If you want to buy a book and get it sent to you, signed by me, that is the way you do it. And I am sending them out until they're all gone, because I'm not traveling, and that's how I used to sell the books. And so y'all benefit, because it's $5.69, which is 1 penny for every single app in that book. All right, I'm going to stop talking. Do we have questions? You go to the site to order the book. I just posted that as well. All right, Crystal, do we have questions?
We just have a few, but they're very technical. You know, what buttons to push and where do I go? There was one question that said that he has a Dell 17 Alienware 4K screen. Does he still need a camera?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
How is that for an answer? Yes. Every time you use an external camera, you're going to get so much better. If yours is fantastic and you don't mind it, keep it. But if you can upgrade and get a better camera, I always recommend it.
Yeah. So you pretty much answered the other question, which means that the question was, is it better to use HD for video or not? And of course, the answer is yes. It's always better to use HD.
Well, it's almost yes. It depends on your connection. Sometimes you want to downgrade some of the quality so that you're not locking up like this, right? Or you're pixelating out. So you've got to use your judgment about your own connection. Like I'm in a 1 gig community, like mine's super fast. Yay. Much faster than I was even in San Diego. But you've got to make that judgment. Sometimes it just isn't worth it to have the beautiful, sorry, to have the HD versus have a connection.
Well, I think you'll answer more of their questions when we get into the meeting mode. And if everybody can scroll up and see that link over there, we're gonna go ahead and stop this session and you can just go on ahead and jump into Beth's workshop type session. You'll all be in a meeting mode. You'll be able to see everybody. So if you're shirtless or anything like that, you may want to grab some clothes on and be prepared, because she'll go through some of those little technical, what button should I push kind of thing to get a virtual background and all of that. But thank you, Beth. We so appreciate. I know some people need to go and do other things, but can we give her a virtual hand clap? Yay! Thank you, Beth. We so enjoy having you, even though virtually. Next time around, maybe you'll be walking on the beach or hiking in the mountains and falling in the mud like you did last time.
I did last time. I fell in the mud. So again, there's nothing wrong with the webinar. Absolutely. Like this is the higher level. It's just that we can't do the face-to-face stuff. So I'm going to downgrade you from Hawaii's program. I'm going to downgrade you to the meeting, which is probably the one y'all are using most often. So that's why we're going to go, and I'm going to give you the little bonus session with all the stuff. Your hands are clapping, yay. And yes, I will send the recording of that to Crystal so she can give it to all y'all. Yay, I'll see you in a few minutes on mine.
Thank you. Mahalo, everybody.